Yo, dog, Kenny Boucher here, Next Level Painting.
And Rob Bear from Psychers.
And together,
we are Wild Stallions.
But seriously, we're the Long War. Please subscribe.
And today we're going to talk about Harlequins. We got part 2 coming up. We're going to talk about some dirty Xenos units.
I hate those Xenos scum.
And some dirty Xenos formations. Because, I don't know if you guys noticed, there's no HQ units in the Harlequins. So they made all sorts of cool formations for us to take as allies.
Alright guys, coming in hot with the new Harlequin tech. But first, I got a special guest, Twitch, from Greenville, South Carolina, hailing from Borderlands.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Well, let's talk about some Harlequins, right? That's what we're here for.
Yep.
All right, so it's good to have Twitch, definitely, because he's definitely got a lot to say about the Eldar. So what I wanted to talk about today, guys, was the actual units themselves and the formations, because like I said, it seems like they made these formations so you can take them as allies because of the whole HQ thing. So you can take them as a battle-forged army, but you can also take them as the mass detachment, which we talked about in the last video a little bit as well. So the mass detachment is 7 elites, and you also can, the command benefit is the rising crescendo, where they get to, all units in this detachment have fleet and can run and charge in the same turns, like OG.
Oh, like original fleet. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yep. and the thing with the elites is that all those elite slots is so you can take all your Shadow Seers, your Death Jesters.
Yo, but where's the HQ slot, man?
Right. So, yep, there is no HQ slot.
So you don't need an HQ for this, or you can't even take one?
There is no HQ option. I think it's probably the first actual book that didn't have an HQ.
I wonder if some of the competitive tournaments will have to start doing more and more sources because of how this is set up. In order to take this and do it well, I think you're going to have multiple sources.
Well, let's take a look at their allies. I actually don't know what page that's on.
That's a solid point, because it is starting to look like it's very supplemental. Like you need other things to make this work well, and that can obviously be by design.
Sure, I agree. I mean, I think you could do a nice Eldar, Dark Eldar, Harlequin force altogether, but you'll obviously need 3 sources. So hopefully the tournament scene will begin to allow more and more.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, it's part of our whole bringing hobby back thing is like this. Like I love the no preservatives added flavor, and I would love to see people be able to play Harlequins at their true power level, and not being hindered by local what do they call that? House rules.
House rules. Well, I know for a fact that the Eldar and Dark Eldar are battle brothers for sure. So that gives you lots of options there as far as
Well, I mean, obviously Eldar is not a bad person to be battle brothers with, right?
No, not at all. Right?
They got a couple of things.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll kind of stumble into that, but let's start with the troop here. Now, I know we're probably going to differ on a couple of opinions here, but just for 95 points, your basic trooper, we'll call them, or player, I guess, has 4 attacks on the charge at weapon skill 5.
Wait a minute, they're called players?
They are called players.
Hold on.
Whoa, are you rethinking your position?
Hold up.
On these dirty Xenos because they're called players?
Obviously, they're called players because they play music, obviously.
Or they're in a play.
Or something, yeah.
Or something. All right. Well, anyways. So they got the Hollow Suit. So they got their 5-up Dirty Save, 5-up Invulnerable. They got the Shrieking Pistol. We all know what that is. Plasma Grenades. Flip Belt lets them do the crazy shenanigans through cover. And basically,
what is that? Just move through cover?
Ignore it, I think.
Yeah, ignore it. And they can also Lookout Sir on a 2-up.
Oh, okay.
They have Furious Charge, so they're not completely worthless.
So, that's obviously strength 5 on the charge, right?
Mm-hmm. No, 4.
Got you slipping. Obviously, because they're Xenos and they're only strength.
That's right.
Hit and run, though. Stop.
But in their addition to 5, probably?
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Oops.
So what's going to prevent something with a stat line of
Initiative 6
from being shot to pieces?
Well,
yeah. What do we got? Hopefully, tell me they have Shroud.
you can. There is a Stealth Shroud, Psychic Power. There is also you can take the transports, or you can take the Veil of Tears, where unless you're basically on average 14 inches closer, you can't.
So what is the Veil of Tears? How does that work?
So it's D6 times 2. If they are outside of that, whatever that rolls out to, they can't be targeted.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that a psychic power?
It is a psychic power. It's Warp Charge 1. Only the Shadow Seer can
It's
get
a blessing.
It is a blessing, and it's the Primaris.
Oh, so you always gonna have it. Okay.
Yeah, for the most part.
All right, that's I mean, that's handy. That's handy.
Some of this stuff here is pretty cool. Neuro Disruptor. It's a strength 1, but it's Fleshbane AP2.
Yeah, that's just for phenol pain purposes. We got it. It kills people.
Yep. Standard fusion pistol at 15 points might be a little expensive. Who knows? Harlequin's Embrace and Caress. I always get them mixed up. Which one's which? One is the OG rending on a 6 to
Man,
hit.
I'm all about the whole
Old school.
Yeah, I think it's the 8.1. And the Embrace, I believe, is the one where it gives them D3 hammer wrath hits at strength 6.
That's crazy per guy.
Per guy.
It's a lot of attacks per guy.
Yeah, it's...
So you get them in combat, they're going to wreck some stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
D3 times number of units, strength 6 for Hammer Wrath. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I mean, on average, you say you roll a 2 for 5 of them, that's 10, and then they all have 4 attacks each
For
on
your
the charge.
after that.
Assuming you don't lose
I mean,
any to
obviously,
Overwatch.
it's a really good. If you can get it there, like Mike was indicating to us, like he's like, what's preventing you? Obviously, let's assume perfect storm scenario. You did get there. If you actually do get these guys there, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you start adding all those upgrades up, you start getting 20, 30 points a model for a guardsman with a 5-up save.
Yes, and that is kind of what they break down to.
Yep.
You are correct.
You're not lying.
Death Jester, we've talked a lot about this guy. I think I may have misspoke in the last video, but his Shrieker cannon actually has 2 modes of fire. The one-shot small blast that can basically has the bio explosion attack, or you have
Which one was the bioexplosion? The one where you blow a dude up?
yeah, and it's the small. You put a small template over it, strength 5 AP4, I believe. I have to check.
And you
that.
actually clip 2 units and it does something else. doesn't it?
Right, and then you have the death is not enough ability where they basically, if you cause a casualty, -2 modifier, and they have to check to break, and you get to pick the direction. Which, like I was saying earlier with you guys, the whole, according to page 57 of the main rulebook, you can actually flee off any of the board edges, even the side.
Seems like that could be pretty strong against some of the Death Stars that we're running around right now.
Yeah, especially with flanking and mission type. I mean, these guys do seem like they have a couple of like weird, like we talked about last video a lot about leadership negative. I mean, there's some weird, interesting abilities. Like to what you're saying, if you combo these guys up with some of the power Eldar, power Dark Eldar, I think you can deal with some things.
Yep. So basically, a good starting point would be just a current list in the meta that's strong in the meta, and kind of splashing some of these abilities here. For instance, you could put this guy in a Starweaver transport, and then by himself as a transport, and then it basically gets a 4-up invulnerable. He is not affected. There's no jink involved. It's just the save of the vehicle becomes a 4-up invulnerable, and he can still blast out of it for a turn.
And
So assuming it survives.
And do these, I mean, it's a big if, but like,
But there's a formation too that lets you reroll 1s of invulnerable saves too. So you basically have a 4-up reroll 1s. It might be good, Then we get to the, the next one's the Shadow Seer, obviously the Psycher. We talked about that guy. The problem with this guy, as I see it, is he's ballistic skill 4. So those 2 Witchfires that are warp charge 2 don't.
We could go on for days about how much I hate a level 2 warp charge Witchfire.
Oh, let's just go 4.
Oh god,
It's very
I'm not happy with this guy.
below average. I think GW put a little too much faith into that one. But the Primaris is the Veil of Tears. So maybe an auto include in some builds, right?
Sure. I also think it's interesting to note that they gave him the demonology Sanctic, but not Malefic, which could be what comes up for Eldar next time, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
They should be able to summon it.
The yin and the yang, so to speak.
You're right. You're
Yep,
right. It's an
yep.
oversight.
Oh yeah. Now the Solitaire is kind of interesting because he is unique, which according to the main rulebook means there's only one in the galaxy. But I'm pretty sure we all know that there's at least more than one Solitaire.
There's at least
But
one in
we'll
every one of our basements.
Yep, it's easy. He's the multicolored boogeyman. But we've talked about this too. He's basically a guardsman. Using Mike's analogy there.
He's got a 3-up invulnerable save, so he's a guardsman with a storm shield. but he can't join any units, so
Nope.
you're gonna have to protect him. But he's got some pretty cool abilities that help him get into combat.
But he moves really, really fast. So, not sure.
Yo, where do I get a flip belt? Like,
There ain't nothing that's gonna have you ignore terrain. Man.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Then we get into, but then we refer to you as a player.
oh man, I want to be a player.
Don't we?
Look at the Skyweaver. These are their awesome jet. These are a great unit. I think everyone on the internet can agree.
Yeah, I think the big debate here is going to be whether to arm them with the Star Bolas, which are the the 12-inch range gun, or give them the Zephyr Glaive, where they basically have a strength 5 AP2 attacks on the charge, which.
I mean, like you give these guys the haywire joint, and it's a problem for a lot of builds out there.
Yes, yeah, that and that you can actually do. They come stocked with a shuriken cannon, but you can upgrade them for 5 points to the haywire cannon.
That's the heat. This is a good unit. There's no denying this unit is good.
Oh yeah,
2
without
wounds each, decent toughness
points.
value, and they can just. I mean, these guys can like in one volley hit 2 angles on a Night Titan and kill them.
Oh, okay. So
coming back to something we touched on earlier, we have the ally chart. Rob, hit that.
all right, so it's Battle Brothers, Dark Eldar. And then for allies of convenience, you got Armies of the Imperium, which is, we joke about that, quote unquote Codex Imperium. And the Tau Empire, Desperate Allies, Orcs, and come the Apocalypse, Chaos Demons, Chaos Space Marines, Necrons, and Tyranids as
Everybody
expected.
else.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So, that's a good baseline there.
It's about what we expect.
Void Reaver's that crazy gunship with the 2 guns, one in front, one in
This is
back.
the one with the second power, right?
No, that's out of the Eldar book. That's the Hemlock Fighter.
The Hemlock Fighter.
This guy's just basically their gunship, no transport capacity, has the haywire cannon and 2 shuriken cannons, and I think you can upgrade. One of them faces backwards, independent fire.
Wait, is the Hemlock Fighter the one I just painted a bunch of?
Yeah, actually.
And that's the one that's going to combo well with this because
Oh,
it subtracts
yeah.
leadership, and that's terrifying.
Yeah,
And it makes you
terrifying, but
re-roll.
also, based on the rules, as far as we can tell, it also has Psychic Shriek.
Yep, because you get the Primaris. The Star Weaver's the transport. We didn't really talk about that, but it's basic here. You got the Mirage launchers, the Hollow Fields. Troop capacity is 6 models, so half a troop basically. DROUPE, not TRO.
Oh, come on.
Jokes. All right, so there's a Void Weaver, and it also has that interesting gun, the Prismatic Cannon, which has 3 modes of fire. One of them being a lance option. So it's a lot of people knock, large blast, low strength but high AP, but I think it's pretty good.
Well, I mean,
Anything that has 3 modes of fire, options are
yeah, I
always
love
good.
options.
Flexibility is always good.
I mean, for a 5-point upgrade, I'm on board with that.
It just depends what else is in your army. If you need haywire, I would rather have that.
Correct.
What else is there?
Yep, definitely. If you don't have a much
Based on your unit composition and stuff.
Now, let's talk about the formations real quick. Now, this seems to be the big formation that everybody's all jazzed about. The Shagorok's Revenge, right? You've got 3 troops, 3 Death Jesters, 3 Shadow Seers, 1 Solitaire, 2 units of Skyweavers, and the Void Reaver. And the cool thing is that the command benefit is basically the same that we talked about as the mass detachment. But this is how you would basically ally them into another army, because you don't have to have that HQ, because it's its own unique detachment.
That's a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah, and it comes up to I think about 1,000 points, 1,020 points minimum. And then you've got the consummate performance, where you get to reroll all 1s for invulnerables.
Sure. Makes them as survivable as they can be.
As survivable as you can hope.
And then you've got this one here, which is the Serpent's Blood, 3 troops, 2 units of Skyweavers, 2 Star Weavers, and a Void Reaver, which basically breaks down to about 700 points minimum. And what this does is it lets you basically, again, ally it into a unit. But the cool thing is that you can actually get back into your transports after combat.
Oh my god.
Right? Remember those days?
Those are the old days.
I'll give GW something on this codex. It seems to be a lot of very unique things. They're really trying to expand on some special rules, falling off the sideboard edge. Some of the warlord traits are very unique, and hopefully that's a good thing for the future.
Yeah, you can definitely forge your own narrative with with this army, not just from the hobby aspect with all those crazy diamonds.
So,
but
are Harlequins supposed to be a bunch of actors? Is that what I'm getting here?
yes, they are.
I literally don't know anything about this because
They basically go around and they perform like dances.
they do dances.
They dance.
Okay.
They're very good at
I know a lot of people who call themselves actors who dance.
Actors or actresses?
They're like I think the politically correct term is actors for all now.
Yes.
But they're all actors. Actresses. I meant actresses.
I think we all know what you mean. And then we got Shagorok's Jest, which is one. Oh, I skipped one. Oh, well, that's basically where you take the special characters, and they get the OG Crusader rule, where they get an extra dice for fleet and D3 to their what's that thing after you win a combat to run people down. No, to run people down. Sweep in advance. Is that still a thing? Yeah, that's it. So that's kind of a cool way to just, if you want to throw 3 of them in an Eldar army or something, whatever.
Things I don't get to do when I play Nurgle.
Oh, or Terminators, I suppose.
Yep.
Both of which you definitely
I
like.
use a lot of those.
Shegarat's chest. We've got one troop, one unit of Skyweavers, one unit of Void Reavers, which is the gunship. So this seems to be firepower based. All from the start of the second turn, all units in this formation have to fleet and can run and charge in the same turn.
Yeah, that's a lot more inexpensive way to bring in a small force to ally.
That's a real powerful ability.
It seems to be, yeah.
And one troop, you might as well not waste it. You might as well go deep, take your full 12 because you can't put them in a transport here. The hero's path is one Death Jester, a Shadow Seer, and a Solitaire. Gives you. Those are your favorite special abilities right there.
Although Shroud, Stealth, and Infiltrate.
It's important to note on that one, though, that even though the 3 independent characters, or 2 of them are, they can't join units. So you're not going to be able to confer that to everything else.
Nope, not even a little bit.
None of those guys are ICs?
They are, but not in that formation.
Right.
Okay, this is dead to me. Move on.
You heard it here
This
first,
thing is
folks.
stupid. I hate it.
and we got the Blade formation, 2 Skyweavers and a Void Reaver. And if you decide to jink, you get to reroll failed cover saves for that unit. But remember, if you're jinking, you're snap firing. So
It makes it more survivable, but you may not be able to do anything next turn.
correct. If you're taking a bunch of stuff that shoots, that doesn't transport troops, I think there's a policy there. But at least it gives you options. And we covered all the Warlord traits and stuff last video. So I think that's about it for this one, guys. What do you think overall?
I think there's a lot of sneaky stuff in there. I think it's certainly something worth playing, checking out. The big problem is your model count. Per point, your model count's going to be low, and it takes a good player to make that work.
It's a little point inefficient for my taste.
But back in 3rd and 4th edition, Harlequins were it.
Oh, the old journal armies.
Oh yeah.
I think some of us veterans remember those
I'm
days.
gonna buy some. I mean, they're one of the coolest looking sets of models I've seen in a long time, though.
Yeah, I think anything's worth a try. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can combine them with and play with, and so let's give them a go.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this edition of Tips and Tactics. Obviously, Xeno Scum style. Also, quick thanks to Mike Twitchell, Borderlands, and the entire Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes, great bunch of guys. Hopefully we'll see a bunch of them up here at the Forge Narrative Seasonal this weekend.
Oh yeah, and also a real quick shout out. We got some Patreons together. Bill, Dan, Chris, David, and a double patron, Sal. Thank you guys for contributing to our channels.
We super appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. All right, make sure you stay in the trenches. Subscribe to Next Level Painting and Spiky Bits YouTube channel. And let's throw our podcast, ForgeNarrative.com. Yo, Hobby Maniacs, thanks for checking out my channel. Don't forget, there's tons of other tutorials, unboxings, and tips and tactics videos on here as well. And make sure you visit my best friend Kenny B's fresh hobby channel over on Next Level Painting.